Well, welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. Since we have a full set today, Kent doesn't have a mic. We were also super worried we weren't going to be able to do the show today because we've been having Comcast issues in the building. So thankfully they were able to get that back up and running. And so obviously Joe's not here. He's off gallivanting since it's his Irish holiday. So happy St. Patty's Day to everyone.
He's out on Beaver Island.
Yep, he's out on Beaver Island. And so I was able to gather up my older son, Gavin, and some of his friends, Logan and Sam. And then my brother is tuning in live all the way from Arizona. You can't just wave, Michael, because you're on the radio.
Well, isn't it being broadcast on Facebook Live? People can't see me?
Yeah, but it's mostly on the radio, so you have to talk. So today we're going to talk success. So I feel like that has such a different meaning to everybody, depending on your age, your position in life, your goals, your personal experience, everything like that. So I feel like this is going to be a fun mix because everybody's kind of in a different phase of their life. So why doesn't everybody go around the table and introduce themselves? So Gav, you start.
Hi there. I'm Gavin. I'm Stephanie's oldest son.
I'm Logan. I'm Gavin's friend.
And I'm Sam. I'm also Gavin's friend.
Oh, there's Grandma. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Linda.
Hello, Linda.
And then Michael, did you want to introduce yourself and say like a fun fact?
Yeah, I'm Michael. I'm Stephanie's younger brother. Like she said in the intro, I'm currently living in Arizona. Not necessarily a fun fact, but that's where I'm at right now.
So do you guys feel that success is directly tied to goals that you set personally? So if you set a goal, do you feel like your level of achievement is directly tied to that goal?
Well, I feel like there are life goals, there are financial goals, and then, there's every other goal that you can put to something. So I feel like it depends on what kind of success you're going for. Because I feel like in my eyes, success is too broad of a term to like put it to one thing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So like what's a personal success that you might have had in the last couple years? No? Logan, Sam, do you guys got one?
I got a job.
You got a job? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So is it did you go to college? Is it in your field of study or was it just kind of a by accident job?
It's I tend to just fall into things, which is why success isn't really like not always a predetermined goal.
Okay.
At least for me personally, because I just kind of go with the flow, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, fall into things. But I am going to college for like IT kind of field. So just something like that. I'm not too specific with what I want to do yet, but
nice. You still got time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm 22. I still got time.
I feel like I've struggled with success in the past, like defining it for myself. I'm in college right now, but I'm taking baby steps. That's sort of success I'm doing right now. I haven't really done anything big like graduate yet, obviously. I'm taking my time.
So let's define success.
Yeah.
What is success?
Okay. So who's Eric Bam. Happy Friday.
Bedazzled pants.
Hey.
It's the best kind of pants.
Michael, did you want to try defining success and what it means to you?
Success to me is when you asked the question originally about setting goals. And I think for me personally, that's how I look at a lot of the different areas of my life, either personal or professional. I try to set goals, milestones within those goals, either small milestones or large milestones. And then that will help me gauge my performance. And I don't think you have to reach every single small milestone or even every large milestone in your goals to be considered successful or not, because everything can be a learning process, a growing process. And like some of the others on the show have mentioned that they're maybe a little bit younger, they're in college and they don't really know what success might mean for their future, but you're always working to improve. You're always figuring it out, sometimes as you go, but setting those goals, those milestones, and then doing your absolute best to achieve them. And to me, that would be success.
Do you feel like you're able to identify your success points a little bit easier because you're an extremely structured person? Like you map out a lot of your day and schedule and workouts and your eating regimen. Like you're very structured compared to some.
Yeah, I think that helps me be successful. I don't know if being that structured like I am at times, I don't know if that is like a key to success. I think it's definitely beneficial when I know when it comes to like health, for example, and dieting, if you have goals to either gain weight or lose weight, or maybe you want to start working out and, get in better shape, whatever that means to you, having like I said, small milestones and large milestones, and being able to structure, it helps keep yourself accountable. So for me, it works.
Okay. And then, Gav, what would you define success for you? Like, how would you define that? Like, is it an emotion? Is it like a paycheck? Is it something?
For me, I feel like success starts to come when I feel good about the job that I've done leading up to, I guess, what I've been successful at. So I guess the largest part of my life recently that has changed was me going to therapy, right? So I feel like success probably starts with the person and their mental attitude towards what they want to do and what their goal is. And so therapy has kind of been a stepping stone to help me be successful in the future, which hopefully will mean nice house, decent money, people who like me. We'll get there.
Work in progress.
Yeah.
Okay. Would either one of you guys say that is like success for you is tied to something financial or more of a emotional experience?
It's just kind of the road to being content with me, at least. Contentment is something that I would like to have. I'm not a very structured person. I'm very everywhere all the time. Like I said, I stumble into things. And it's just constantly working at that, trying to be more structured and hopefully reach the end goal and not feel like I'm in chaos. Be like, okay, this is fine. So yeah, like a car and a house, like a nice car, nice house, family.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like what success means to me, I want a nice life in the future. I want to finish college or something similar to that, get a nice house, just be comfortable. That's like the type of success that I want.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's sort of a feeling, you want to feel successful. You want to feel good. I feel like that's kind of tied together.
Yeah. Okay. Eric says success is easy. Keep dreaming, keep chasing. Don't worry what others think. It's your race. Celebrate every victory.
I like
That's
Eric.
Yeah. That kind of goes with what I said earlier, starting with the mental state.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time that you were able to take apart your computer tower, repair it, and put it back together without needing Rich or Uncle Michael to guide you in that and how accomplished you felt in that moment.
Yeah, really stressful at the time. Felt really good afterwards, though. Way too much work put into that thing.
But so since you guys are kind of starting out into your real true career paths and everything, do you think, and I know that you guys have all kind of mentioned like nice house, nice car, do you think that a lot of your stuff would be kind of tied in then financially? Like at what point do you feel like enough would be enough? Like what money would be
Do you want
enough?
a dollar amount?
Like, do you have one?
Household or just on mine?
I mean, like, at what point would you feel like, what car would you feel like if I got this car, I've reached my level of success?
Oh, just like a Camry, a newer Camry. Yeah, just something not used that will die in 2 years. That'd be nice.
You just want a nice car.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like a sports car. Obviously, that's like a dream car, but just being able to not be like, oh, my car might just die on the road any minute now. That would be nice. But like with the amount of money I make now, which is like starting level in a
Okay.
job, around 30K a year, a little bit more. If I had double that, which people make that much, people make double what I make. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
could spend double the amount of money and be like, yeah, this is fine. It's just crazy to think about that. And people who, like my older sister, she's extremely successful in what she does. And she, over 6 figures. And it's just, there's no financial worry, at least from what I see. Obviously, there's private things that I wouldn't know about, but just having that security, because I grew up from, in a low income home. So,
Well, you know the old saying, like you make more money, you spend more money.
yeah. Oh,
So,
you definitely do.
like,
Yeah. Like a nice
yeah.
car, a used car. I mean, now it's like 10,000 for a not a great car because how
Mhm.
expensive cars are right now. But, I mean, double that is a new car, pretty much.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A low end new car, but
Eric says that he wants to add that he's 53 and still doesn't have it figured out. I have a very good job, new house, and a Porsche, but I'm still figuring it out.
yeah.
Hi, Derek. Derek, why don't you tell us also what success means to you? Because you kind of had a career shift and you're expanding your education right now as well in your classes. So, Michael, what about you with regards to your career? I know that you're in transition for jobs. Are you looking to go a step up as for your responsibilities, or you're looking to go a step up for your financials, or both?
For me, I want to just be able to contribute. And that might be like a vague term. For a while, when I was, just to give my background a little bit, when I moved out to Arizona, it was my first entry into call centers. I worked for a company called American Home Shield. They sell home warranties all across the US. And that was really the first time I'd ever been in that line of business. And that's kind of been my sweet spot ever since I've been out here. And that's enabled me to climb the corporate ladder, I guess you could say, starting as an entry-level associate, moving up to a team lead, a supervisor, and then I was interim manager and working on managerial projects for a little while for some of the companies. And right now, yeah, I'm in transition, trying to find another place to work, which has actually been pretty challenging. But when I'm looking at these places to apply, the biggest thing to me is getting into some place that I can contribute, where I can share my ideas, critically think, work with like-minded people. So if I had a preference, I would, after working with DoorDash, which was my most recent company that I worked for, which is still technically considered a startup, that's something that I would love to continue, because there's so much changing. Everything is always evolving. Nothing is the same. Every single day that I worked at DoorDash for over the year and a half that I was there, it was never the same thing every day, which is great. So I've been really trying to find startup companies that I could apply to and offer my experience to. But I mean, money is nice and it enables you to do a lot of different things. But for me, it's not all about financial. That's definitely a bonus.
Yeah. Well, we got a lot of comments now. Hold on. And Mom says, no matter what, you should always try to succeed in something at any age.
Good grandma advice.
And then Kent Jones says the issue with success is that a lot of our definitions rely on how others view us. Nice car, nice home, etc. Success should be a very personal and very private. Sam Walton wore overalls and drove a rusty pickup truck. Again, not what many of us consider successful.
That's valid.
And then Eric says, my Friday advice, take action. You'll never regret trying something. There's never a right time, I think, when an idea is put in your mind or heart. That's God. Run with those ideas. Derek says, my dream and aspirations changed drastically a few years back. Happiness, good health, family time, and being able to control my time and schedule are number ones for me now. Money, much further down the list these days.
I feel like it does change as you get older,
Mhm.
because you look at a lot of us 22-year-olds right here on this half of the table, and we all immediately talked about monetary success for the most part. And then you have some people that are older than us and more well-established giving all this advice on things where it's not necessarily so visual. And I think it's more like what we want to do is we're living in the social media age where we want our success to be pushed out there and to like show everybody. And we want that special little blue ribbon, you know, which, hey, I'll take it. But I do like saying that success begins with yourself, and it's like a mental thing. And I do like the privacy comment because it's a weird thing to share. You know, I don't want to be braggadocious.
Well, I don't give two shits about what anybody thinks of me. I'm happy, right? I mean, in all honesty,
yeah,
whatever, right? Because I can look at Shaquille O'Neal, who's a lot more what I would consider successful than me, but I'm happy in life. I'm content, right? I love that you said content, but in truth, I don't give two shits if anybody looks at me and goes, "Oh, he's successful," right? They can also look at me and go, "Oh, he's fat and ugly." It doesn't matter.
I feel like that also comes with age. As you get older, you just stop caring as much about what others think of you. It's just something I've noticed that the older people get, that tends to be the case. I don't know very many people our age who are so like, I don't care. Right. Obviously, varying levels. Yeah. But I definitely think that younger people think a lot more about what other people think of them.
That's because your parents lay it on you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, let's be honest, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can do better. Right?
Yeah. I mean, they want the best for us. Yeah. It could be stressful, but
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't feel like I push Gavin and Eli like horrifically hard. I mean, they both are surviving. And
he's working long hours.
Like getting up.
Your 7-year-old comes in and says, "Am I getting paid today?"
Yeah.
Well, yes, he did say that the other day because he stayed home sick from school, and he was like, "So do I get paid if I come to the office?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "But you paid me before." And I was like, "Well, because you worked. If you're gonna come and work, then I'll pay you. But if you're gonna come and lay on the couch and watch SpongeBob all day, then..."
Is it too off topic to ask what a 7-year-old did here?
Oh, Eli did
like working wise.
So we sponsored a golf outing, and so Eli put together all of the swag for the golf outing. So he zip tied all of our logos to these Hawaiian leis that we bought on Oriental Trading Company. He shreds papers for Valerie and Melanie.
Oh, that's sweet. Okay.
He
just a little helper.
Yeah.
I started showing him how to do bank recs and stuff because he wants to know like what I do all day. So I started showing him how to do that. And so yeah, he does miscellaneous.
Okay, that's cool.
Like, admin tasks.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's cute.
That's what he does. Or he'll come over down here and Kent will give him a couple bad dad jokes, and then those stick with us for a while. Eli's been on the podcast a couple times.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Actually, I know that.
Why is success important? That's another question, right? Why is...
Because you don't want to die not being successful.
Do you feel like there's so much pressure to be successful that it could cause you to have like that? What is that saying? Analysis or paralysis with analysis?
Yeah,
like where it like fear freezes you.
Yeah,
you're
totally. I am like diagnosed. I have like anxiety, like generalized anxiety and things like that. I'm not good with being pushed too hard because it's the analysis paralysis or whatever you said. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I mean, like, because even though like my mom is personally, I'm sure Michael will agree that my mom's very risk adverse. Like she's been in the same job field, same company for 35 years, but she's pushed Michael and I to be and own our individuality and like go on our own path and our own journey. But when I decided to open up Steph's Books originally, she was very nervous for me. Like versus
starting a business. I mean, that's that's a big leap.
Shout out to Derek Bear.
Oh. Hey, Derek. Is he? I don't see his name. He's just listening. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Michael can agree that when we were growing up, like my mom, I don't feel like she didn't really, I don't feel like push Michael or I like really hard, like academically or physically in like sports and things. Like Michael used to do baseball and football and I did softball, but it wasn't that serious. Like in your house, Kent, like I know you don't push your kids, but like you're a basketball house.
Yeah.
And then when like Colette wasn't gonna do her last season, it was threw off a little bit of the dynamic in your house because you guys are a basketball house and you're a coach and that's what you guys do, but you respected the boundary and that she was going on another path.
Yeah, and then she came back later.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, everybody's got your own dreams. Society puts too much pressure on success. And the unfortunate thing is success isn't the same for everybody. We got all these different things of success, but society throws all that. Hey, you have to, why? Right? What? Who cares? If you're happy and you're quote unquote not successful in somebody else's eyes,
Right.
who cares? Right. So you're studying what, Sam?
Right now I'm doing geography, but I'm in the middle of changing my major. I'm just trying to figure that out.
Yeah. So your take, what is success at college right now? Making the dean's list, or I mean, what do you put
for me? Just getting by the next semester.
Hell yeah, right?
Just simple stuff like
that. But the guy sitting next to you in class, or the girl sitting next to you in class, his parents might be going, if you don't get straight A's and get on the dean's list, you're cut off.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think I'm gonna make the dean's list, but
I never did either. Right? Right? So that's what I mean. Is she looks at you and goes, "Why is this guy happy? He's not on the dean's list." Right? So that's why it needs to be private. Right? To me, you should look at me as a person and not if I'm successful or unsuccessful and go, you're pretty good person. I like you. Right? You're an asshole. I don't like you.
Right.
And that's really what it should be. Right? I shouldn't go, well, he doesn't have a job or drive a Porsche, so.
Well, it's just like, I mean, we've gone to, I don't even know how many mixers over the years and stuff. And there's so many people that, well, I shouldn't say so many. There's a few people that I've come across in my years of going to mixers and networking where they have the mentality of fake it till you make it. And they have these expensive suits or these cars or these things, but they don't have the cash flow to sustain that lifestyle.
Right.
So they're just miserable owning their own business because they're just getting further and further and further into debt to try and put out there what they've been told that success is to impress the other people. But so like for me, I was so much happier mentally happier, physically happier. Like my last job, I was so stressed out and I was so unhappy that it was causing me physical damage. Like I was losing my hair. I wasn't sleeping. I was probably bitchy in the house, like all of these kind of things were happening. And then even though opening up my own business was scary, it just wasn't stressful to me because I enjoy the field that I'm in. And now I make my own schedule. I control 100% of my destiny. And I'd rather have that pressure on my shoulders than being in an environment making when we first started, I left a job making a very comfortable salary to then grind it out.
And you did.
Yeah. I mean, and now I'm much happier. I feel like I'm nicer. My hair's growing back. Like
you made it. Yeah, studio.
Like things
that's pretty cool.
Are coming along, So it's just like I had to stop listening to the outside noise, which is what Kent is referencing, and just do me.
Yeah. That's kind of why I quit my last job. I was a store manager for a retail location, and it's retail. But I was making decent money for my age.
Right.
And I just had to quit it because it was too much for me. I was just dealing with a lot mentally at the time, but this new job that I have is wonderful. It's very great. And it just has a lot of opportunities for me to go in different directions just with that in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's currently slightly lower pay than what I was making before, but I'm much happier. And I can get out of bed in the morning without having like I don't want to get up. I don't want to start my day yet. You know, I could just get up now.
Yeah. I mean, I've taken pay cuts before to have the flexibility or whatever I was lacking. I've taken that shift just because I don't feel like money is going to buy my happiness.
Yeah.
It's not going to buy my sanity. It's just going to make, me more.
Yeah. It's just, and
stressed.
with money, I don't need to be a multimillionaire. It'd be nice, but just enough that I'm comfortable because I don't need to flex my, my worth, just enough that I could be comfortable and, just live a comfortable life and learn to be content.
So do you guys have any like mentors or people that you look up to? Like if you when you see them, like either like you had referenced that you think your older sister is at a very kind of successful point in her life. Like is she somebody that you look up to where you would want to have that? Or has she like guided you?
I'm not saying I want to do the same career path. I mean, I could, but just not right now. I'm not thinking that would be the goal here. But I mean, yeah, definitely I look up to her because her situation when she was a kid, in my opinion, was way worse than what I had to deal with. And she made it so far. And it's crazy how far she's gotten just with what she was given to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I definitely look up to her.
Yeah. So she's just somebody that has like a good grind to her.
She just has it together. She's so, I could talk for the next half hour about her stuff, but I'm trying to think how to just paraphrase it. But she's very put together and very orderly. And the thing is, I'm not really like that. I'm just scatterbrained. But I think the more content I get, the more it'll be easier to kind of put myself together. And also with what Gavin said with the mental health stuff, that's something that I've been looking into, trying to work on. Not as much as I should be, but
I mean, we have a saying in my office. I mean, I'm very like fast paced and easily distracted. So like if I'm getting too crazy with something or whatever, one of my staff will yell out squirrel and bring me back. Like bring me back down to like the reality of the moment of the conversation, because I'll sometimes just pop into their office and be like, hey, we should do this and this and then that and then and then we'll try this, and then like the next day I'll be like, okay, scratch that, we're gonna edit it and we're gonna do this and this.
But it's fun to think that way.
And we've tried a few things. Some things have worked, some things haven't, but
sometimes you just gotta give it a shot.
I mean,
but it's good to have grounding, someone grounding you.
They'll usually yell something out and catch my attention, and I'll be like, oh, okay. So Sam, do you have like a mentor or somebody that you look up to that kind of helped you define like what you would want as success?
I mean, I would think like everyone in my family, but I think my dad mostly.
Shout out Tom.
Yeah, Tom's great.
He's a great man.
I don't think he's listening to this.
Did you guys tell him you were on the show?
I ran out the door. I told him quickly, I'm like, doing a podcast about success. I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
That's what I did.
He's like, okay.
We'll find out after.
Yeah, maybe I'll show it to him. I mean, my dad's a big influence in my life. He's pretty successful now, after learning more about him through the years. I look more up to him now. Like he would, like back when he was like my age, he told me this like a week ago, like my age, he like started dating my mom. Then she was like a single mother with like 2 kids and stuff. And now he like makes a comfortable amount of money. We're comfortable now.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, we never went on vacations or anything, I didn't really notice that back then, but I would think. And like both my parents finished college well after, like in their 30s or whatever. So, things take time with success and financial.
So they probably have sympathy towards like you with college and stuff like that.
No, they totally understand.
Like, everyone, you could relax.
Everyone in my family, hit the mic. Everyone in my family has taken their time with college. I guess
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not. No.
It took me like 10 years on and off to get my bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Like I kind of started and stopped and stopped and started.
It's going to take me 3 years to get my associates. So,
I mean, like my just life kept happening. So I just did whatever. But yeah, Gav, do you have anybody that you, and it's not a loaded question, you don't have to say me, But do you?
I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
it is a little bit cheesy to say, but honestly, seeing you like
Aw.
grow over the years and like
So sweet.
manage the business and then deal with me and Eli. But there's just nobody that I've ever looked at in my life except for you that I felt like if I were to. Oh, and my Uncle Michael. Yeah, and my Uncle Michael. He used
Shout
to
out,
bully
Mike.
me a lot when I was younger. But we'll get there. We'll talk about that another day. Yeah.
Yeah, they're only 14 years apart, so you know.
But in general, just seeing you like grow the business and still manage the family and how you've brought up your issues and you're able to deal with them and then discuss it and move on in a positive way is like, it's very kind of enlightening to me. You know what I mean? It's very reassuring, I guess is one word to put it.
Cool.
Mm.
What about Mike?
Michael, who do you look up to? This is a loaded question. You better say me because I'm your big sister.
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously, watching you go from your stressful position before you opened your own business, transitioning, growing, networking, building it up to how big it's gotten. First employee, second employee is definitely inspiring. And then also, obviously, I have to say, LaRonda, my fiance, because when we met, she was a supervisor in the office. She had been in that position for 10 years and felt stuck. And then, through talking together and pushing her to take that step, she basically took the leap and then hit the ground running. And now she went from supervisor of a call center to director. And couldn't be more proud of her for that and watching her do it in such quick succession. And I think that's kind of a tip for maybe the three guys up there at the table, is to find yourself a bad bitch and ring them up quick, because it seems to be the way to go. Shout out my brother-in-law Rich. He knows the game.
So what does mom say? She says, you have to be happy to succeed. So happiness is extremely important to me. Sam, if your goal is to get the next semester, then you did it. Always hold your head up high and be very proud of you. And then mom says, what? I think she's
upset that she wasn't named in people to look up to.
Or was it the toilet sound?
Kent says, unless Steph is on a ladder, does anyone other than Eli look up to her?
Probably won't even be able to say that in 2 or 3 years, because he won't even be looking up to her.
Yeah, Eli's almost up to my shoulder.
Wow.
Really?
Yes, he had another growth spurt. Now I have to get him new pajamas. You know how those little boys like run around with those like crop top pajamas? Like,
yeah, it's getting there.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there's been a few people that I've looked up to. Like personally, I've looked up to, I guess, my mom in the aspect of she was a single mom and left a very stressful situation. And she had my brother and I, and she basically had to start over. She had to leave a situation where she was a stay-at-home mom, take us out of because she's still, it's not like my parents got divorced because they didn't love each other. There just was decisions that weren't being made appropriately for being adults and being parents. But thankfully she met, my stepdad, and he's been our dad for the last, how long have they been married? Like 32 years?
30 something years. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been there forever. But, she was able to, put her big girl panties on and get after it. But my grandpa, he had his own accounting firm. He was very true and particular to himself. I've been fortunate to have a few good bosses that I've looked up to professionally that have helped me get through things and see the next path for me to get to that next level of where I was trying to go. Like I was blocking myself and I wanted to get to that next level of success for myself, but they helped me open the door and get through there. What about you, Kent? I feel like you're gonna have a lot because you've had such an interesting life.
Yeah, it really depends on what avenue you're looking at and talking about success. I mean, Ron Hostry, old partner, was a brilliant man. A very, he owned he brought peace to everything, right? He was just that kind of cool mentor where you talk to every day, and he just kept dropping nuggets of advice on life and whatnot. So it was really pretty cool. Pete, I mean, just his laid back, I got no more fucks to give. My bucket is empty. My bucket's empty. He said, I got no more fucks to give. And just his laid back demeanor, you're like, oh, it was pretty cool. My wife, my dad. I mean, it all depends on where where you're at. But again, my definition of success is I push for peace, inner peace, right? So for me, if I'm happy and content, that's a win. At the end of the day, if I can look in the mirror and go, yeah, it was a good day, wake up. You have to stay humble and grateful, and you learn that from people that you don't need to dress for success if you ain't got the money, right? And you don't fake it until you make it, because that's a recipe for disaster. So I don't know. So a ton, there's things I learned, from Coach, things I learned from you on life, business, taking some of your business advice. So yeah, I mean, it just depends where I'm after, right? And I play for the dash that'll be on my headstone, right? I want the stories of here's the birth date, here's the dead date, and I want people to tell the stories for that dash. And if they can sit out and look at my headstone and tell a story of something, then I would consider that success. So really, your legacy, but that to me, But I push. I mean, I'm an asshole when it comes to coaching athletes. I expect a lot, right? Because I push people to bring the best out of themselves. But at the end of the day, if I can look in the mirror and go, good day.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
what about, I guess, the company you keep? Like, without, I guess, taking the word success out of it, do you feel like if you are hanging out with people that, because I felt like once I found my people and other that have an entrepreneurial mindset, it really helped like my creativity flow. And it was just like really cool to do roundtables with other entrepreneurs or people that have been through it. Like, it really just opened my mind up to all the different like avenues it can go. But if I'm hanging out with people that, not saying that I don't, but if I hang out with people that have jobs that they shut off at 5 o'clock, they don't understand sometimes, like when your phone rings after 5 o'clock, like what, you still have stuff, So do you feel like that kind of will sway how far your own personal success could go? Like, do you feel like it could be like, what's the word? I can't think. Like, do you feel like it could be, do you feel like it could be stifled based upon hanging out with certain people?
I don't know if it could be stifled, but knowing people who are good at that, like entrepreneurial, it could definitely speed up the process just to learn things and just be around the people with the mindset. But I wouldn't want to, because I don't want to think like, oh, I have to abandon some people in my life because they aren't on that grind set.
Right.
No,
yeah, that's true.
But I could see where you're coming from. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I have friends and people that I would lean on for business type stuff.
But yeah.
And then I have like close friends I've known since grammar school that were just in different places. Like they have their career. I have, my career. I wouldn't necessarily avoid them.
Yeah.
But there are some people that I do avoid because I feel like they'll just put, like, I don't like Debbie Downers.
Yeah.
I feel like people that are always got that victim mentality and they're Debbie Downers, I feel like they just like, it's just like a cancer then that spreads into everybody that they hang out with.
True. Let's start calling people out.
Yeah, we can start naming names.
But I mean, like, so I just feel like there's situations where, you surround yourself with those good people in that next thing that your phase of your life. It doesn't necessarily be like a success point, but just your next phase.
Yeah. Meeting people or just knowing more people will always help with anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
What about you, Michael? Do you feel like the company you keep has affected some of the stuff that you've done? Because, like you said, you kind of, after you brainstormed with LaRonda, that really opened your eyes to a whole new career path from what you were doing here in Illinois.
Yeah, I keep a very, very small social circle, and I think networking is very important for different aspects of your life. But I'm happy with having a very small social circle. I have a few acquaintances of people that I've met out here that every now and then maybe we'll exchange a text message and have a small conversation, maybe meet up and go grab some food. But when I think about people that I look to daily or weekly, it's maybe like 5 people. So there is something to be said about the company that you keep when you're trying to achieve goals and be successful. If we tie it back into the topic of the conversation, that if there's somebody who has no personal aspirations, no self-motivation, they just sit around and they're waiting for something to just fall into their lap because why not me? It's how come nothing ever happens for me? But they're not out there bettering themselves in one way or another, furthering their education if that's something that they're interested in or that they want to pursue, or looking for a career change if that's something that they feel like they're stuck in a rut because of their career. If they're just sitting around doing nothing, it's going to pull you down with them.
Right. So as Ken say, success for these fellas must be great hair.
Thanks, Ken.
That's true. Thank you.
I'm jealous.
I used to not be a part of the long hair club for a while.
And then COVID hit.
And then COVID
I
hit.
feel like it
and it was
grew
over
pretty fast.
Yeah.
I know, it's only been like a year since I got a
Yeah,
haircut.
no, that's crazy.
Me too.
Yeah.
This has been all week.
Oh.
It's looking good.
You got the facial hair though,
Yeah.
so it's fine. Yeah.
It's a trade-off.
And then Kent also says that he loves that Michael, that he does too. He knows just about everyone in my circle is tight. So because Kent does his annual man camp with the same group of guys for what, over 20 years now.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yeah. And they go sit in the woods and not get eaten by bears.
That's right. My God.
Yeah, I mean, I've known these two for God knows how long. I mean, in general, our friend group has all known each other since about roughly elementary to middle school is when everyone started forming together, and we've for the most part stayed together ever since.
Yeah, it's
For
pretty
everyone in that
awesome.
circle.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy how that happened.
And I think we all have a very big influence on each other, whether that's positive or negative in some
Yeah.
aspects, because eventually keeping around the same people all the time, you can grow to be very similar.
It's the hive mind.
Yeah, we kind of get a little hive mindy at sometimes. We can definitely finish each other's sentences. But what I like personally is one, I like how Michael said that he has like that one, or like, sorry, he said he has like 5 people that he can go to and that he knows who he's going to go to. And those are like his very close personal people. But in my case, I love going out and meeting new people. And I love getting those little tidbits of information from some random walk of life over here or over here or over here. And then I can go back to my comfort zone, expand upon that, and then work on myself based on everything else.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I think as soon as you can learn more about other people and then figure out how that situation and what you would do in that situation, I think you can learn a lot about yourself going through. And I'm not saying to become another person or what, like, I just think walking a mile in someone else's shoes is very important, especially for even personal growth,
Definitely.
to keep it on topic a little bit.
Unless they have athlete's foot.
Unless they have athlete's foot.
That shit ain't good.
Or you got feet like Logan's.
I got messed up feet.
True.
I've never seen
They're pretty
a good
weird.
foot.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
In 3 years, you're working on your master's, let's say.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Let's say.
No,
And these two have gone on, and they are quote unquote successful.
Okay.
Do you feel left behind, or do you feel like, damn it, I took the wrong path? I mean, you guys are tight, right? So that you're in that hive, and you're like, these motherfuckers are turning it up. And here I am studying ant biology. I don't know how you study.
I mean, I would think I would feel a little left behind. You
Yeah.
know, if you're still in college, you're still like working towards something. So I wouldn't feel that left behind. You know,
Yep.
there's still like that goal at the end of the degree. You know, everyone's working for in college. But if they're already having successful jobs, I would feel a little bit left behind. But I wouldn't beat myself too much up over
Yeah.
it. You know, it's everyone has different paths in life
Right.
that they go down. So.
When everyone was getting out of high school and going towards college, that's exactly how I felt. As soon as some of our friends moved down to Chicago, some people moved out of state, but a lot of them went directly to a 4-year. And I wanted to kick back and relax for a minute, figure myself out, go to community college, which granted, I'm still figuring myself out. I'm still going through everything. But seeing them run off to the 4-year and then hearing that everyone's about to complete everything and do all that, that really hit me hard
Yeah, it's
for a
kind
while.
of scary.
It honestly like shook me for a little bit. But eventually, after thinking about it and learning a little bit more about myself, and touching, I think, like an overall theme in this whole podcast episode so far, is kind of just I learned what works for me and how I can do it for me, and then we can move on. And other people, I might take advice from them, but it would never truly change me and my view on how I think things are.
And then, Michael, did you feel kind of a little left behind when Lee finished at his IT degree and you guys were in the same field of study, but then you went in a different path? Did you feel a little like weird? I mean, I know you and Lee are still extremely close. I mean, you're basically like, his daughter, I guess, basically, calls you like uncle too.
Yep. Yeah. Left behind, I think that term at face value, no, I didn't feel left behind. I mean, Lee didn't allow that to happen. If you're talking about individual, that's how you know you got some real people around you. And in Kent's example to Sam, was it if he was still trying to get his master's and the other two were working, would you feel left behind? It's like, no, because if you got a close group of people that are there to be in your corner and cheer you on and share your successes and be along with you, everyone can have a different path, but staying connected, I think, is important. So I think it did. I battled with it a little bit on if I could go back in time, would I have done it differently? Would I have graduated high school a year early and then pursued my degree in DeVry and like stuck it out and figured out a way to make it work and not just given up on it? Maybe, but without the college education, I think I'm doing extremely well for myself, or at least I was before big tech had those layoffs. But I know that I'm going to get back on my feet and I don't need like a college degree to make that happen. So I think it's just everyone's going to find success in their own way.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I mean, I've just never been like a real money driven person. So I've just never defined my success for any financial like goals. Like I don't want to be, drowning in debt, but I just want enough to at least go to the grocery store and have a vacation or two is fine. But
I think like Gavin had mentioned like 40 minutes ago or whatever, when everyone was kind of talking about success, and the three guys at the panel up there said something monetary based. But looking back to when I was 21, 22, 23 and looking to move out of our parents' house, I mean, money was extremely important to me because that's how you establish your freedoms. If you don't have financial freedom, you can't rent or own a place of your own. You can't have a vehicle, and there's a huge list of costs that's associated to that. So if you don't have at least a little bit of finances coming in, it's hard to have freedom. And then once you gain that freedom, you're like, it's like the sense of relief that you feel like you're in a good spot. And then you start to have minor successes in your career. Maybe you get a promotion, maybe you get a really nice bonus because you've worked hard and you get this little bit of extra money. So then your lifestyle changes. But yeah, I agree kind of with what you were saying, that it's not really always about being financially driven. It's just at certain points in your life, you're going to be motivated more by it. And that's totally normal.
Yeah. And then I noticed that you kind of touched on when you were talking about Lee and that Lee didn't let that happen and stuff. Like, do you guys feel that you're each other's biggest, cheerleaders and support? Like if Logan's doing good at something with his new job, like you guys celebrate that for him and with him, like when
Do you?
You know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
not offended if you don't. But
I mean, like when my friend April just switched careers, and it was a very big shift for her. So me and her and a couple girlfriends, we went out to dinner and just like celebrated her new thing. I mean, you guys don't have to like obviously do dinners and stuff, but I'm just saying, do you guys feel like happy for each other and kind of make it known and then kind of push each other like as that at all, or?
In terms of pushing each other, I don't think the group as a whole does that a whole lot. I think on like a personal level, when you get like one-on-one with someone, I think we'll definitely always be in each other's corners.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, we've known each other for so long. We know everyone's flaws and we know all their strengths for the most part, you know, with what they've been willing to share over the years.
Mhm.
But I don't think we've ever necessarily torn each other down or gone in the opposite direction. But when somebody gets a new job or something good happens in our friend group, for the most part, we just go, oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
It's
Like, oh, good job.
Good job.
Man. Like you did it.
Like,
Here's a quick pat on the back,
Yeah,
and then
that's cool.
we go back to playing games or whatever. But
Yeah.
to be honest, I think that is very common when you just get a group of guys that has not had any
Yeah.
outside influence. I think that is a very common thing that'll happen.
It's just been so long.
Yeah.
Or it's just like everyone knows everything about each other. So it's just like, okay, cool.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
got a new job. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, like we'll ask, 20 questions.
And then
but-
you'll be like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
get the employee discount at the other place you were just working at. Like,
Well, yeah.
should have told me, like-
that happened with
Yeah.
me.
right, you
With
should have
my
told me
last-
3 weeks ago.
You know, literally, yeah, my last job, yeah. Sorry, no discount.
But okay. And then is there anything that you feel like we didn't ask that you guys would want to say about something, like as it pertains to success or growth or goals, or like some bit of advice that you learned at your age?
Well, one of the things that I struggled with for a long time, and it actually, took me going to a therapist to get over it, is when I get this
Mother's guilt.
is when I really got down to it, I really just wanted to push myself and say, go, go, go. And I kind of had this view of toxic success is what, like, the only thing that I could put to it, where it's just like you push yourself too hard and you've overworked yourself and now you have no energy and you're drained or you're stressed or you're just like dying. So I think just like, I don't know, I guess just taking a minute and reflecting on what you have already done is very important as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because there's been times in the business where I've been really stressed out, and then Rich is like, we put on 12 accounts this month. And I'm like, oh, maybe that's why I'm so busy. But, but yeah, just like when you're in the thick of it, like you don't see. And sometimes you need that outside person to slap you around a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely feel since COVID happened, it's been hard to reflect on where I've gotten to, because it was just a lot of anxiety, just trying to push myself as hard as I can just to, get to point A. But recently I've been able to kind of relax and look back and be like, oh, it's actually going fine. I'm not like, I don't need to be like warp speed.
Yeah.
To, right now, like I said, I'm 22. I could space things out a little bit. I don't have to lose all my hair. I need it.
I'll mute that microphone.
What about you, Sam?
Good question.
Can you repeat the question?
It's a
I'm
tough one.
I'm still thinking through it.
Yeah. I was
Like, is
kinda
there
having
any kind of like bit of advice of something that you would give to somebody that's kind of like, I guess, the next up and coming of something that, that relates to like your success or your goal that you would give them? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like, I'm only 21. I'm still learning with like success and just life in general. So I feel very like I have like this sort of issue with like an all or nothing attitude. Like if I'm doing like school, if I like don't succeed right away, I kind of like shut down,
Mhm.
sort of thing, and it gets in my head a lot. And I'm trying to change my point of view with how I view my goals in like school and life in general. So just like sort of baby steps sort of thing.
so you think that you kind of were so focused on the end game that you didn't know how to take the first
Yeah,
step
I'm
to
not-
get to the end
Yeah,
game?
I'm not looking right in front of me. I'm looking like 10 miles ahead. sort of
Yeah,
thing.
that was kind of what I was trying to get at. Yeah, you explained that better than I did. Yeah, it's just you don't realize that you are getting there because it
Yeah.
takes so long to get to that end point
Yeah.
that it's really hard just to focus on that and not think I'm getting nowhere.
It's like
Like I
Okay.
still don't have a degree yet,
I'm
but
getting,
it's like I'm actually like almost there. It's like a few more credits and then I'm there. It's
Yeah.
cool. I did it.
you just get stressed out. You're not looking. I have to do this thing right now.
Yeah.
But
And the crazy part about being young is that you do one big goal and there's like, oh, there's like so many choices I could take at this point. And then that's overwhelming because I still don't 100% know what I want to do. That's why I honestly think that I will end up falling into something that I end up loving. But I'm just waiting for that to happen.
I mean, I fell into bookkeeping by accident.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool.
It wasn't even like I wasn't even going for a bookkeeping job. It was just to organize an office for somebody.
Oh,
It was just supposed to be a little project job.
and then bookkeeping.
And then they asked me if I could do bookkeeping, and I was like, sure,
Yeah,
because I'm like, yeah, I got this.
I feel like a lot of things ends up like that.
Yeah, I feel like if that's meant to be, then it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
But Michael, what about you? What's like a bit of advice that you'd give somebody that's kind of looking for like success or how to start their goal path or something to that effect?
I think it was kind of touched on by a couple of people earlier or throughout the podcast today, is that we live in a society now with social media that not everybody, a lot of people will compare themselves to others. And that's something that you have to just remove from your thought process almost entirely. It doesn't matter what these influencers are doing on TikTok and Snapchat and all of these other platforms, Instagram. They're only going to show you what they want you to see of their lives, and everything is so magically great, and they're so successful, and everything that they do and everything that they have is so great. Focus on yourself. What worked for me, like I said in the beginning, is setting goals and then working towards each one as the best you can, and celebrate everything along the way.
Mm-hmm. So we're in the last 3 minutes of the show. So this segment now is what did you learn? So it could be something about a person on the set. It could be about one of the listeners. It could be just a piece of advice from the show. So Michael, why don't you go first? What did you learn today?
I learned that hearing perspective from a couple of people in their early 20s, and I'm 36, about to be 37, that not much has changed in that aspect of society and how people work through problems. Because when I was 20, 21, 22, I had a lot of the same thoughts as everyone up on the panel, worked through a lot of that stuff, and then really molded my own path. So it's interesting to see that how quickly and how easily society can shift. There's a lot of places where it doesn't.
Okay. All right. Gav, what did you learn today?
Well, it was actually kind of nice to learn about how similar we kind of all are with our view on success in this, like, at least at this current point. Like, it was kind of nice to learn that, because if I have a vision of it, everybody else has a similar vision, then we had a pretty good talk about it, and felt good.
Logan?
I really hit it because you said what I was gonna say, and now I'm just like, but yeah, the age difference between, I mean, it's not that much between like us and you. But yeah, it's cool to see that that it does work out, as long as you just you just keep going for it, and you just keep trying, and you don't have to figure out what you want to do at 22, and you could just figure it out.
Yeah.
Here's what Linda learned.
Nobody looks up to grandma. I look
said
up to you,
Graham.
Linda.
I said you, Mom.
Mom did say your name.
Yeah, Gavin co-signed me. You weren't listening. You probably had the volume off again on your phone.
And
She
I
probably
said
fell
Mom,
asleep
so
on the
by
couch.
proxy.
So Sam, what did you learn?
I can't think of anything specific, but it's just nice to hear people older than me and like their point of view on success and just life in general, and people in the comments too. I liked all the comments.
Yeah, good comments.
Oh no, and Sharon Aunt Sharon listening. She said that's Mom, not Grandma. Oh, she's trying to get us in trouble, Michael. So Kent, what did you learn today?
Content. Success is being content.
Yeah.
And
I like that too.
If you have hair, you might as well grow that shit out.
I mean, that's how I think of it. You got to do it before it's gone.
There it goes, bro.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I learned was how difficult it was for everybody to truly define success, because it's such an internal thing. And I feel like just the way you feel in the moment, like how we were talking in the green room earlier today of comparing like adrenaline rush situations where it's just that moment, that experience, like, and it's hard to articulate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks for being my guest.
That was fun.
Yeah.
We
Had
will.
a good time.
Well, you guys could come back again.
Oh, cool.
You guys could even zoom in like Michael.
Oh yeah. No, I want to be here.
Oh, okay.
This is cool. I
This
like
the
the layout.
experience?
Yeah, the experience.
We're established guests.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Friend of the show.
So I guess next week, I'm not really sure what we're doing next week. Joe will be back hopefully from Beaver Island, and we'll get that all figured out.